Hello everyone, hope you all are doing good. Today the topic is Introduction to Operating System. Operating system is a collection of software that manages computer hardware resources and provide common services for computer programs. The operating system is a vital component of the computer system software. Application programs such as MS Office, media players, and games, they all usually require an operating system to function properly. An operating system acts as an interface between the user and the computer hardware. Operating system ensures the communication between the application software and computer hardware. All the user requests from application software pass through the operating system layer and before going to the hardware. Similarly, the hardware responses pass through the operating system layer before going to the software application layer. There are various type of operating systems that can be used, such as we have Apple, we have Windows, we have iOS, we have Android, we have Linux and Unix. Various layers in systems such as user, program interface, operating system and hardware layers. The very first layer is the user layer. This layer presents the actual human users that interact with the system using the program interface layer. The second layer is program layer, with which the user interacts and passes certain requests. The requests are communicated to the operating system layer via its operating system interface. The third layer is operating system, which if necessary pass on the user request coming from the program interface layer to fourth layer, which is the hardware layer, which consists of disk, tape or different type of memory. All of these four layers communicate with each other in a sequential manner. The response will go back in a sequential manner, such as from hardware to operating system to user program, and from user program to users. This flowchart is summarizing the communication between different layers. User will provide certain input to application software via the interface. The application software will pass on the request to the operating system. Then the operating system will be converting the request into a hardware instruction and pass it to the computer hardware. Then computer hardware will do the required processing to produce the result. Once the result computation is completed by the hardware, the result will be passed to operating system layer. Operating system will convert those results into an appropriate response understandable by the application software and pass them to application software. Application software will then convert those responses into output and send them to the user with the help of output devices. Operating system provides certain functions. A few of them are listed here, such as operating system manage different programs, configuration of device, memory management, internet connections, network controller, etc. Features of operating system. Graphical user interface for the ease of use of the end user. Operating system is a multi-user based system which refers to the ability of the operating system to accommodate multiple users using a single machine simultaneously. Multitasking refers to the ability of the operating system to handle the sharing of a common resource among multiple tasks. The resource in this scenario can be either software or hardware. Multiprocessing refers to the ability of operating system to manage the multiple processes in a machine or computer that have more than one CPU at a time. Multi-threading refers to the ability of operating system to manage tasks that have multiple threads working in parallel. Multi-threading is actually an extension of multitasking. Operating system types. The very first operating system type is that have a single user and a single task. This type of operating system must only deal with one person using one application at a given time. A perfect example of this kind of operating system would be a mobile phone from 90s, which accommodated only one user at a time, and the user of the mobile can only use one of its application at a time. The second is single user and multitasking. This operating system allows user to perform multiple tasks at the same time. A best example of this type of operating system would be Microsoft Windows. On Windows, a user can operate multiple applications at the same time. such as the user can work on MS Word while enjoying the music at the background simultaneously. The third type is multiple user and multitasking. An operating system capable of supporting and utilizing more than one computer processors or CPU while accommodating multiple users. The best example of this type of operating system would be the centralized systems. There are two types of interfaces used by different operating systems. The first one is CLI, command line interface, and the second one is GUI, the graphical user interface. Many systems now include both CLI and GUI interface for different application programs. Operating system types. So we have operating systems which are standalone operating systems. These operating systems which only have a single operating system at a given time. For example, they are either using Windows or Mac or Linux or Unix or Apple or Android, but they're using a single operating system at a given time, or standalone operating systems. Then there are server operating systems. These operating systems are actually designed to provide platforms for multi-user or for critical network applications. The main purpose of service operating systems is to provide security, stability, and collaboration. Most of the server operating systems come with a pack of dedicated software tools such as web servers, email agents, and terminal services. The common applications for server operating systems are file and printer sharing applications, services such as databases, service terminals, etc. The third one is embedded operating system. An embedded operating system is a specialized operating system designed to perform a specific task for a device that is not a computer. An embedded operating system's main job is to run the code that allows the device to do a certain particular job. The architecture of the operating system. The very first layer of the architecture is hardware. Hardware is actually the physical component of a computer system. It consists of all the physical parts that you can touch of a computer. For example, the monitor, the mouse, the keyboard, the memory, the graphic cards, sound cards, motherboards, etc. Then there is a layer of kernel. Kernel is a computer program that manages input, output, requests from software and translates them into data processing instructions for the central processing unit, aka CPU, and other electronic components of our computer. Then we have shell. Shell actually acts as an interface between the user and kernel. So when user logs in, the login program checks the username and password, then starts another program called the shell. The shell is actually a command line interpreter. It interprets the command that user has typed in an application program, and then it arranges them to be carried out by the kernel. Then we have user application. User applications are computer programs designed to perform a group of coordinated functions, tasks, or activities related to user interests. A processor in a computer has two different modes of running, that is the user mode and the kernel mode. So all the applications runs in user mode and the core operating system components runs in the kernel mode. When a computer application is running, it runs in the user mode. Some examples can be Word application, PowerPoint, a PDF file reader, or a browser. These are all application programs, so they all run in the user mode. In user mode, the running application has no ability to directly access the hardware or memory because that's the responsibility of the kernel. Any code or application running in the user mode must allocate to system application program interfaces to access hardware or memory. Due to this extra protection level, the crashes that are happening at the user mode are always recoverable. Coming towards the kernel mode, the kernel is actually the main part of the operating system and is actually responsible for translating the commands coming from the user mode or application programs into something that can be understood by the computer hardware. Kernel mode is generally used for low-level trusted functions of the operating system. It is important for the kernel to be as small as possible while still providing all the essential services required by other parts of operating system and applications. The kernel connects the system hardware to the application software. Every operating system must have a kernel. If the process running in user mode requires any hardware resource, then the process request from application program is sent to the kernel, and from kernel the request is sent to the specified hardware. User mode versus kernel mode. User mode is said to be restricted mode, and well, kernel mode is privileged mode. Computer only enters kernel mode when user mode requests an access to hardware resources. User mode is considered as the slave mode or restricted mode, whereas kernel mode is considered as the master mode or privileged mode. In user mode, our processes gets their own address space, whereas in kernel mode, all processes gets a single address space. In user mode, if any interrupt occurs, only one process fails, which is related to that interrupt. Whereas in kernel mode, if any interrupt occurs, the whole operating system will fail. In user mode, there are restrictions to access the kernel program, such as user mode cannot directly access the hardware resources. It has to request the kernel in order to access any hardware resource, whereas in kernel mode, both user programs and kernel programs can be accessed directly. Then we have different operating systems. So the very first is Windows, which was developed by Bill Gates and launched in 1985. Windows was built on DOS Disk Operating System, which is the CLI command line interface. Windows have two modes, user mode and the kernel mode, and is mostly available on tablets and Xbox integrations. Windows provides graphical user interface. It is supported by 32-bit and 64-bit operations. Windows also support multitasking. A user is allowed to place the file or folder on the desktop with the name up to 255 characters in Windows. Windows also supports multiple users where each user have to have their own settings. Windows is easy to use and have frequent updates. A huge number of users are very well familiar with Windows GUI. Windows also support gaming at application and server levels. However, licensed Windows is expensive and Windows is considered to be less stable and secure as compared to the Linux due to its security protocols. Then we have Linux. Linux was developed by Linus Benedict and was launched in 1992. Linux is command line interface based system. The code of the Linux is freely available to everyone on the internet, and therefore loads of people have created their own versions of Linux such as Debian, Red Hat, SUSE, Slackware, Gentoo and Ubuntu. Linux is considered to be more secure as compared to Windows. Linux support multiple programming, multi-user, and it's also portable. Linux is free as its whole code is actually open source. On the other hand, Linux is hard to learn and install. Only a few application programs are runnable on Linux. Due to the low use of Linux, it has low familiarity rate among the users as compared to the Windows. Then we have Android, which was developed by Andy Rubin. Android was launched in 2003. It is based on Linux kernel. Android is graphical user interface based system. Android was primarily designed for touchscreen mobile and devices such as smartphones and tablets. Android have various features such as messaging between multiple users, multi-touch, multiple language support, web browsers, Bluetooth connectivity, video calling, screen capture, storage, internet connectivity, etc. Almost all of us have used Android in our smartphones. Next is iOS, which was developed by Steve Jobs. It was launched in 2007 and it is based on Mac OS. It has graphical user interface, which the iOS was primarily designed for touchscreen mobile devices such as iPhone, iPads, iPods, and Apple TV. Components of operating system. Process management. The operating system must allocate resources to processes. Operating system must enable process to share and exchange information. It must protect the resources of each process from other processes and enable synchronization among different processes. To meet these requirements, the operating system must maintain a data structure for each process. The process data structure describe or store the state and resource ownership for each process. This data structure will enable the OS to have a control over each process. Memory management. The memory management function keeps track of the status of each memory location that is either allocated or free. It determines how much memory is allocated among competing processes, deciding which process gets how much memory and for how much time it is allowed. When memory is allocated to a certain process, Memory Manager determines which memory location will be assigned, and it keeps track when the memory is freed or unallocated by the process, and it updates the status of the memories accordingly. The I/O device manager keeps track of all the inputs and output devices and their current statuses. The network manager manages the relationship between the operating system and the network that it is connected to. This means that the user can be unaware of the issues like network speed if the user opts for this. Network services keeps track of all the applications running at the network layer. It provides data storage, manipulation, presentation, communication between different applications or services which are connected to the system via some network. Last, the user interface is a way to provide human-computer interaction in operating system. That was all about the introduction of the operating system. We stayed at a very basic level to learn all the basics of the operating system. I hope you all have